Hey guys, Darren Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Tonight we've got Mr. Jim Jarvis with us. Jim just won the BFL Shenandoah Division tournament on Smith Mountain Lake this last weekend. So another winning podcast coming your way. Jim and I have already been talking before the podcast. Really excited to hear this content. I think he's going to have a great podcast, great recap for his tournament this last weekend. He's very excited. So really great content coming your way. Before we get started, Revital Outdoors is very excited to announce we are featuring a $2,500 giveaway for a lucky angler at the end of the year. I'm going to put the banner up right now. To enter this giveaway, you got a couple different options. You can scan the code right below in the description of this video. Also, if make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. That way you get notified when all of our content is dropping. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Revital Outdoors. And if you've never heard of Revital Outdoors, we're a premium CBD company. Our products are THC-free, made right here in America. They're great for all the different ailments that anglers endure or all the outdoor enthusiasts endure out in the field or on the water. They help you with back discomfort, aches, sorenesses, joint problems, anything like that, anxiety, trouble sleeping. Our products are really designed for that. So check them out on our website. You can purchase them directly off our website, and we can go from there. Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to my late father. Today would have been his 64th birthday. Dad, I love you. I miss you. Thank you for always taking me fishing. Big shout out to all the dads out there for taking their kids fishing. It's the greatest thing you can do. And just happy birthday, Dad. And I know you're up there with Grandpa running trot lines right now. So definitely miss you. And I just want to give you a big happy birthday. So that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this podcast. Very excited to talk to Mr. Jim Jarvis. Jim, how you doing this evening?
All right, great. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. So, well, man, congratulations on this last weekend. You know, walked away the tournament winner from Smith Mountain Lake, Shenandoah Division. We've had a lot of anglers on here talking about Smith Mountain. Hell of a great lake. Still a bucket lake of mine. I can't wait to fish it someday. But, man, you walked away with the victory. Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about what happened this last weekend.
Matt, first of all, thank you. I appreciate it. Happy birthday to your dad. My mom as well, passed away last year. But happy birthday to your dad. God bless you. Want to start off by thanking God. I mean, without God, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today and doing what I love. Smith Mountain, she owed me one. I mean, blew my motor last year about this time, and I was about on the same patterns I had this past weekend, but she owed me. I mean, she owed me, and she treated me good. God treated me good this week, but I was there all week. I mean, I ran from one end of that lake to the other. I mean, we had cold days, we had warm days. I went from dock fishing to chucking a swim bait. Started noticing in a couple of my pockets, some of the girls started pulling up. I was like, this might play in. I mean, I fished the Piedmont the week before Luke Nichols won. Mm-hmm. And I had a pretty good day. I lost a good fish, slid back a little bit to 8th place, still had a top 10. So I wanted to start my day. I figured with the cold front that pulled in, I thought, man, they're going to slide back a little bit. So I slid back to my rock pile. I mean, I had them was 19 pounds. I could have had 19 pounds there just off that one rock pile. Got there. Man, something's telling me I was there about an hour. I usually stay there a little bit longer. And, something was telling me, better move. Let's move. So I told my co-angler, let's go. Ran another rock pile. Wasn't happening. And I thought, well, the wind is just starting to pick up. Let me go hit my beds. And sure enough, I mean, I figured, 152 boats. I'm thinking I'm late. So I rolled in, and they were there. I mean, some of them pulled off, but a lot of them were there. And I just started picking them off, and my first fish was a 5-pounder. And I set the hook. She went under a tree, come back around the front of my boat between my Talon. My Ultrex, my Mega Live, and my Height Right. Went through that triangle. I'm like, oh, Lord, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. And I got her out, and that was the first fish. And after that, I just stuck with it. I mean, I bed fished the rest of the day. And I guess about 1:30, I thought, dear Lord, I said, this is getting pretty close. I said, but I'm going to have to move. And I had another set of beds on the other side of the lake. I told my co, I said, we got to run. First stop, I looked down, going down the bank, and I seen one of the beds I had marked, and I looked down. I told my co, I said, it looks like a 14-incher. Yeah, you know, size slot's 14. I thought, well, I need a fifth fish. You know, I'm thinking, okay. I tossed in there, and by God, she was pretty deep. She wasn't a 14 incher. She was a 503. Yeah, big mistake. But I got her. That put me up to 19. I'm thinking, you know, I'm thinking I got I'm top 5.
That's top 5 all day long.
Yeah, I'm top. You know, Luke Nichols. You know, Chris Brummett. You know, those guys are sticks. You know, I think I'm fishing for a top 5, not a, you know. And unfortunately, you know, Luke had some boat issues, or he was having a pretty good day up until that. But yeah, that put me up to 19. I thought, man, I'm doing all right. I'm feeling pretty good. And I found one more fish. Well, actually, I found 2. My next fish was about 7.5 foot deep in front of a dock. She looked like she had a little bit of backbone. I thought, well, let me see if I can't get her. Well, that took me to 1967. I'm like, man, I'm pushing 20.
Mm-hmm.
I said, dear Lord, I said, you looking down on me? I said, let me keep going. I said, let me keep going. Oh man, I can't, man. It was a blessed day, brother. I mean, it still ain't always sunk in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
My wife thinks, you know, says all the time, you know, God looks after you. You do good things, and you know God's going to look after you. And you know, the last 2 weeks, you know, he's done me. You know, he's done me good. You know, he's done me real well. And so I told my co, I said, let's run back to the other spot. And I pulled back in, and my one fish had come back up, and she's about 4.5, another 5-pounder. Winds were bad though. I mean, winds were terrible. I couldn't really see her, but I knew she was there. And I thought I had her. I seen her come up, and I lost her. Man, there goes 20-something pounds. I said, cool. You know, I'm good. But you know, the Lord bless me, brother. I don't know what else to say. When it's your time, God will make it your time. And you know, these lakes have always, you know, sidetracked me. I should say. You know, I'm a river rat guy. You know, I won the super tournament on last year on the Potomac, which was my first trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Got the monkey off the back, but this was more of an accomplishment for me, just because the competition I was up against on this lake, and my familiar with lakes. You know, I'm trying to learn them. You know, I'm spending a lot of time on these lakes trying to get. Like Luke Nichols said last week, you know, these guys make you want to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Luke and Chris and them guys, they make me want to be better. So it makes me want to try harder. But I can't do love.
Absolutely. Well, if you look at the Shenandoah Division, you know, we're talking about guys that got their start in the Shenandoah Division, like David Dudley, you know, Forestwood Cup champion, Jacob Porosnik, now fishes the Elite Series, multiple, you know, tournament champion, John Cruz, he's from the Shenandoah Division. You know, that kind of dates back. I'm kind of aging those guys, unfortunately. That kind of dates back to the Redman days. But the Shenandoah Division, I mean, the state of Virginia, they got some hammers in there. And I think it's just because there's river systems where they have to follow the tides. There's lakes that are deep and clear, like Smith Mountain Lake, where it's really, really tough to, you know, really get good bags. I mean, 19, 20 pounds, that's a solid stringer on those lakes. And, you know, other lakes around the country, that's a lake good enough to get, that's a weight good enough to get you a check. But typically that's not what it wins. So a lot of pressure on those lakes. So, I mean, hats off to you guys in Virginia. I mean, you got a lot of diverse fisheries, but you got a lot of hammers in there too. And probably a lot of anglers that fish in that division that could go pro, but just choose not to.
Absolutely. I mean, I got another guy sneaking up on me. He's a heck of a stick, Greg Fernandez. You know, I talked to him afterwards, and you know, he lost some key fish too. But you know, he's a good stick. But you know, I want to thank, you know, my travel partner Mark Tornay. You know, when I blew my motor last year, you know, he's my travel partner and he's my partner on the side, and fish these other tournaments. You know, he helped me get my boat back to where I needed it. And if it wasn't for him, you know, putting a new motor on a boat or a rebuilt motor, it's not cheap, you know.
Right.
And he took care of me, and we traveled together. We fished we fished this week. The funny thing is, we was kind of dividing the lake up. Towards the end of the week, he was like, "Well, you take this half, I'll take this half." He found some fish, but I found a side that had all the beds. So thanks to him, he's a great dude. One of them guys that do anything for anybody. But brother, the Lord bless me, man. I'm tickled. I'm still on seventh heaven. My buddy called me on the way down. He goes, "It still ain't hit you yet, has it?" I said, "Nah, it ain't hit me."
It'll take about a week.
Nah. And the amazing thing is, I caught all those fish on a drop shot.
I was gonna ask, what was the bait of choice?
It was a drop shot and a robo worm. I did bring one. I did weigh one in off a Thunder Cricket, for Strike King, but it was the robo worm, putting that heavy drop shot weight right in the middle of the bed, and it was pissing them off. It didn't take me long to get them off them beds. I didn't have to work them too much, but it was the drop shot.
I got you. For all the listeners out there, Jim was telling me before the podcast that he's a big drop shot guy. It was a total coincidence they had one tied on. They don't normally eat a drop shot in the bed. He was just last minute trying to catch a fish and decided to throw it. So I wouldn't rely too heavily on the drop shot when bed fishing, but for Jim in this situation, it just worked out.
I wouldn't either, because I had about 5 other rods on my deck that I would normally throw, because I love the bed fish. And that was probably the last one I thought would be catching them. And I'm not a finesse guy. I'm a power fisherman. But I'll take them on a drop shot. My co-anglers, God bless him. He was trying to catch them on. So I give him one of my robo worms, and he put it on. I wasn't paying attention. He put it on his robo hook, and he set the hook on a good one, and it straightened his hook out. I said, "Bro," "what?" He's like, he was using a 1-aught. I'm using a big heavy 3. Short distance. You're jerking on them. You want something that's going to stick and it's going to hold. But I felt bad for the guy. I told him once. I'm one of the kind of guys. I was a co-angler for many years, and last year, I fished as a co-angler on the Piedmont, and my boater coming second. And after he got his fish, he told me, he said, "Hey, if that fish don't help me, it's yours." And I did the same thing this past weekend. Treat him well. And I just felt bad for the guy. He had his opportunities and missed out. But Lord bless me this weekend.
Good for you, Jim. Good for you. So, great testimonial. It sounds like you had a really good tournament. That's awesome. Really excited to talk to another winner this year. Jim, before we let you go, looking at your social media, you got a great family, great support system. You got a few sponsors that you work with, a few people in the local area where you live there in Virginia. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
First of all, Lord Jesus Christ, my wife, puts up with me. She knows March comes, I'm gone. She already deals with me during hunt season.
Yeah.
But hunting season, I'm home. Fishing season, I'm on the road. So I can't do without her support and her love for me, and trusting what I do and let me do what I love. But Phoenix Rods, not a whole lot of folks use Phoenix Rods around here. They're a great company out of California. Love them. Been with them for 6 years. Lou, Strike King. I can go on. The biggest factor for me was my solar bat sunglasses. Even with the overcast skies and the wind, little bit of wind I was having, man, I could still see those fish. But that's all to the side. I got great sponsors. I got a great base. But the man upstairs, he's the one that's taking care of me right now.
Absolutely. Well, Jim, really appreciate you coming on our podcast. Again, congratulations on your win. For all the listeners out there, you've been listening to Mr. Jim Jarvis, the winner of the Shenandoah Division Smith Mountain Lake tournament this past weekend. So, Jim, one more thing before we let you go. Now you're qualified for regional. The pressure's off. So what's the goals throughout the rest of the year?
Angler of the year. I mean, Potomac's next. I mean, I love me some Potomac. So, I didn't do so good on Kerr the first go around. So I'm hoping, I jumped up weight with this win, and I got the Potomac coming up. I expect to do well. Hopefully, I get to talk to you again.
Absolutely.
Then the Super Tournament back on the Potomac. So Angler of the Year, that's on the target.
Okay, cool. So, well, Jim, really appreciate you coming on the podcast again. Good luck to you this year and the rest of what you're doing. Good luck at the Potomac River. I hope I am talking to you again because that usually means 2022 is going good. From all of us at Revital Outdoors, again, I'm Theron Asbury. Thank you to Jim Jarvis. Make sure you follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Also, before we let you go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Revital Outdoors. And then enter that $2,500 giveaway. You've seen the banner scrolling at the bottom. That winner will be selected at the end of the season. So that's a $2,500 giveaway package from Revital Outdoors. Be sure to get on that. I promise you, if you're a fishing nut like Jim and I, you won't want to miss out on that. So from all of us at Revital Outdoors, thank you for tuning into this podcast. Be safe out there. God bless. And we'll talk to everyone very, very soon.